We're about to launch a new podcast, Ethics Untangled, and I wanted to tell you a bit about what the podcast is about and what you can expect from it. My name is Jim Baxter, and I work for an academic centre at the University of Leeds called the Idea Centre. Our academic staff is made up of applied ethicists, which means we're philosophers by background. But unlike some philosophers, we're really interested in how philosophy can help with everyday practical problems. For me, one of the most interesting things about working at the centre is the research that goes on there. So much of this research is about stuff that lots of people are interested in, not just philosophers. The difference is that philosophers have the privilege of being able to spend time thinking deeply, carefully and systematically about some of these things. So the idea behind Ethics Untangled is that we get to share some of that thinking with you. This podcast is for you if you want to get a different perspective on one of these really tricky ethical topics. Philosophers definitely don't have all the answers, and in a lot of the episodes, you'll hear us struggling to work things out as we go along. But you might find that your thinking has changed by the end of the episode. I know mine has. I've already recorded the first 12 interviews, and I found every single one of them really fascinating. We've got episodes lined up on such topics as whether humans and robots can be friends, gender and motherhood, the ethics of elections, the rights and wrongs of persuasive speech, punishment, forgiveness and revenge, carbon rationing as a response to climate change, and lots more. The first episode is about how we should behave online. Here's a short extract from that episode to give you an idea of what's in store. Okay, so I'm here with Joe Saunders from the University of Durham. So welcome to the podcast, Joe.
Thanks, Jim.
And the topic we're going to be talking about today is social media and being better online. So I wondered if you could start us off by just giving me a view of kind of what the problem is here.
I mean, have you been online? Have you ventured online before? I don't know. It just feels like things are pretty grim online. I mean, I remember when social media came about, it all felt quite hopeful, right? It felt like kind of fun, it was exciting. Oh, you could connect with people. I mean, this was their kind of marketing. And then there were some suggestions that this might be a force for good or a force for change. And, it's not all been bad. Social media's had some positive impact and has made some change in the world. But as someone who does spend a decent amount of time online, I find a lot of it really toxic. It's not a nice place. People don't engage with each other in good faith. It's often really divisive. I don't know. It's a mess. Social media is a mess. I see the way that a lot of political discussion is carried out online in particular can be pretty toxic. Reading reports about how social media feeds into and influences elections and things like that can be pretty bad. Looking at abuse that happens online, and then just reading these kind of accounts of what goes wrong.
And philosophers and other writers have done a bit of thinking about kind of how the way discourse happens on social media can lead to sort of specific pitfalls, right? So what are some of those pitfalls?
Yeah, so good. So philosophers are often good with concepts, right? They're good with thinking through phenomena, through various behaviors and kind of tropes and things that happen in the world, and gathering them together under concepts that we might already use, or inventing new concepts to capture them, or taking concepts that we might be already using and trying to tidy them up and clarify what exactly is going on, and maybe drawing distinctions. I mean, usual things philosophers do can be helpful in aiding our understanding. And philosophers have started thinking about social media and what goes wrong. And so there's some interesting work they've done drawing attention to, like you said, kind of various pitfalls or ways we go wrong. So there's quite a bit of work done on virtue signaling or grandstanding, work done on polarization, bubbles, echo chambers, things like that. The philosophers are, they're on one hand analysing ways in which we go wrong, and on the other hand, they're also providing us with suggestions about how we might be better.
So that's just a taster of the kind of thing you can expect from Ethics Untangled. I'm really looking forward to sharing the rest with you very soon. Watch this space for the first episode, but it would also really help us if you could subscribe to the feed through whatever app or service you usually use to get your podcasts.